You're listening to The Whistle on All Jacked Up Sports. I'm Jackson James, and I'm talking NBA play-in 2023. 2023? Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're in that year. And the NBA play-in has finally become what it was meant to be. If you don't know what the play-in is, basically it's an expanded version of the NBA playoffs, going from 8 teams per conference to now 10 teams in the conference. And what are they fighting for? Well, they're fighting for seeding in the playoffs. As I keep saying playoffs, but this is the play-in, and let's hop right into the matchup and who I think is going to win. In the first matchup, we have the Atlanta Hawks as the 8 seed visiting the Miami Heat, the 7 seed. That game will occur on Tuesday, April 11th at 7:30 p.m. And this winner will get this 7 seed. And you're like, okay, give me some facts, give me some facts. Well, as I look at the injury report for this game, it is clearly the Miami Heat's game to lose. You got Bogdan Bogdanovic, doubtful. Clint Capella, doubtful. John Collins, doubtful. DeJounte Murray, doubtful. Trae Young, doubtful. What? That's their entire starting lineup completely gone. The only injury report for Miami is Nikola Jovic, who I'm pretty sure is like a role player, rookie. So Miami is clearly going to dominate this game if this holds up. Now, obviously, I'm recording this on Monday, April 10th. The game is tomorrow. When I'm recording this post will go the day of. So, unless things change, maybe I'll update it. But I don't see this game being close at all. As I look at who is the favorite, Miami is a 5-point favorite. I'm surprised if this injury report stays the same, that doesn't jump up to a double digit line. So, yeah, I think Miami's going to win, which will get them the 7 seed, which will give them a matchup against the Boston Celtics. And that series will start on Saturday, the 15th at 3:30 p.m. But as we move towards the west side of the bracket, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves making a return to the playoff scene as they visit the Los Angeles Lakers. And that game will occur at 10 p.m., so right after the Hawks and Heat game, both on TNT. So, what is I'm expecting from this game? Well, Rudy Gobert is out from punching his his teammate in their last game of the season, which was an absolute wild, wild time. I'll show the video now in our video format, but if I'm not, go look it up on Twitter because it's actually crazy. They were in the huddle and they start punching each other because they call like get a rebound, get a block. Man, that's wild. That's wild. He already apologized on Twitter, but still kind of shocking to see that kind of happen in the final game of the season. Jeez Louise. Still, that doesn't change my prediction. Even if Rudy Gobert was going to play, he is out along with Jaden McDaniels, and Jalen Noel for the Timberwolves is also listed as doubtful. Kind of a shocker for the Los Angeles Lakers. Dennis Schroeder is listed as doubtful, so maybe that's something to watch out for. But I still think this is the Lakers' game to lose, similar to the Heat. I think the Lakers dominate this game. It's just, I don't think LeBron and AD are going to lose. The only way they lose this game is if they want to play the Nuggets in the first round. You'll see some finicky stuff if that happens, and that'll definitely blow up over the media. The Lakers are a 7.5 favorite, 7.5 point favorite over the Timberwolves, and I will take that line. I think they'll win by double digits, maybe 10, 11, as they get the 7 seed, which will earn them a trip against the Grizzlies, the 2nd seed, and that series will kick off on Sunday, April 16th on ESPN. As we move into the next round, these games will be occurring on Wednesday, April 12th. We have game 3, Bills. Jeez Louise. We have Bulls at Raptors. Like I said, this game is on ESPN at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. The winner will play the loser of 7-8, which in my bracket analogies is the Atlanta Hawks. So you're like, okay, the Bulls pretty average, below average actually, at a 40-42 record, and Toronto Raptors are similar to the Atlanta Hawks at 41-41. But I'm actually going to pick the Bulls in this matchup. ESPN even has the matchup predictor 60% chance that Chicago wins this game. And the loser is done for the season in these matchups, which I kind of like. It's a little bit March Madness feel. As I look at the injury list, you get OG Anunoby, doubtful, and Fred VanVleet, doubtful. There's no injured players for the Bulls. That's all you need to know, I think, for this matchup. The Bulls, I think, have more star power. DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, those guys could easily pop off for 30 points this game. Meanwhile, who are you going to rely on now for the Raptors? Pascal Siakam? Yeah, if he gives you 30 points, who else is going to step in? You're losing your best players, OG and Fred. It's like, what are they going to do? They are good at home, though, with a 27-14 record. The Bulls were not as good on the road as they are 18-23. But I still like the Bulls in this game. They've had a bad year, really let down year, but I think they do miss Lonzo Ball, who's dealing with that knee injury. But I still like the Bulls' chance. They're coming off a 2-game winning streak, that being obviously one against the Mavericks and one against the, who did they play in their last game? They played the Pistons. So obviously not two quality teams in that matchup, but still getting the wins this late in the season, kind of building momentum into the playoffs is very key for the Bulls. And that's why I have them pulling up the victory, which will earn them a matchup against the Atlanta Hawks. And we'll get to that matchup right after this one, as following that game, we have the Thunder going up against the Pelicans in New Orleans. This is actually a very interesting matchup for me because I don't really like the Thunder in this matchup, yet I still think there's a chance with Zion Williamson not playing for the Pelicans. It'll be interesting to see if the Pelicans do somehow make the overall bracket, the 8 or 7 seed, or I guess the 8 seed in this case. So if he plays, does that, I would love to see Zion in the playoffs, but he's injury prone right now, so it'll be interesting. That game does start at 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, right after the Bulls game, but that game is also on ESPN Plus. But as I look, there's no real keys to injury-wise besides Zion, which both of these teams, or at least the Pelicans, have dealt with Zion being in and out of the lineups. They're kind of used to it, so you can't really necessarily say, how can they play without Zion? But this Thunder team, man, they are slept on. And I mean slept on. They're coming on a 2-game winning streak. 1 win at Utah and a win versus Memphis, who is probably playing their backups to get ready for the playoffs. But still, man, Josh Giddey, SGA averaging 31.4, 51% from the field, and 90% from the free throw line. Are you kidding me? And you have Josh Giddey putting up solid numbers, 7.9 rebounds a game, 6.2 assists per game. You got a playmaker there. Now for the Pelicans, this is my one concern. CJ McCollum's your best scorer at 20.9 points. That's it. Where's Ingram? Where's he at? You need scoring from him in this matchup. I think they can dominate in the paint, but it'll be interesting to see how they stop SGA and kind of Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's my player to watch in this game. If he drops a triple-double, the Thunder will win. But I still have the Pelicans pulling out this one. I think they'll limit SGA. They'll put the primary focus on him, and they'll let the other guys try to score. Like, they'll let the other guys try and beat them. And that's what'll be the Thunder downfall. I think their offense will continue to struggle. Pelicans are 5-point favorites in this matchup. And I see CJ kind of elevating this team in the fourth quarter because he's kind of been that guy for them, scoring late and leading them to victory. So that's who I have winning in that playing game. The Thunder are eliminated, and the Pelicans earn a matchup against the Timberwolves in Minnesota. So as I transition, Friday is the final round for the play-in. The East game will start at 7 or 7:30 on TNT, and the West will start at 9:30 or 10 p.m. on ESPN. Round 2 of the play-in. First game is Bulls at Hawks. Now, look, the Hawks, again, I don't know if they're going to play their guys. I would assume they play their guys in this game. In that case, this is going to be the best game of the play-in, hands down. I would put my money on this game being the most entertaining one. It's going to be close. You got really two star-led teams. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan leading the Bulls, and Trae Young and DeJounte Murray leading the Hawks. But I actually have the Bulls winning this one. There's just something about the Bulls this offseason. Call me a homer because I rooted for the Bulls for a little bit, but I see Zach LaVine, especially DeMar DeRozan. He's kind of starting his tail end of his career. So it'll be interesting to see him like, no, we're going to win the play-in. The only way they don't win this game, in my eyes, is if they just can't stop the Hawks. I think Vucevic is going to have a big game this time around, and, they're just going to somehow pull it out, and I see the Bulls getting the 8 seed, which will earn them a matchup against the Bucks, which is going to be very, very interesting to see how the Bulls kind of get to that spot and the reaction from the fans, because you're the 10th seed and you make the playoffs. That'll be already interesting as the NBA media as a whole. But from their fans, they're like, okay, it's tank season. We were bad this season. Let's tank. Let's get a good pick. But if they make the playoffs, it's risky to be in this spot just because you want to win in the play-in, but then you're going up against one of the top seeds in your conference, and you're not really favored to win that series. So it is tough. It is very tough. But yeah, I have the Bulls winning that one. a little bit of an upset for sure, picking a 10 seed to win the play-in. But the East is that close where it's like I don't see necessarily an alpha dog in the play-in. But as in the West, the alpha dog, I think it's the Lakers. But the Lakers are already won. So it's the Pelicans at the Timberwolves. That game is at 10 p.m. or 9:30 on Friday, right after the Bucks and Hawks, both on TNT. So who do I like in this matchup? Obviously, Zion's not playing in the play-in, so it's really interesting to see. It's more CJ McCollum versus Anthony Edwards. Who is going to guard Cat? That's my question for the Pelicans. You're putting Valanciunas? Nah, that doesn't fly for me, and that's why I have the Timberwolves winning this game. It's kind of similar to last year, or it was the year before, where the Timberwolves won and they went crazy. You have the meme with like Patrick Beverley taking his jersey off, like, I'm the chosen one. No. That's not going to be the vibes in this one. I think this one will be relatively close, but I see the Timberwolves pulling out late from a big performance from Karl Anthony Towns. Don't sleep on Anthony Edwards, though. He can easily drop 25 in this matchup, as the Pelicans really lack defense to me, because there's so many ways the Timberwolves can score. Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns. So it'll be really interesting to see how this matchup kind of dives deep down when it gets into the crunch time. Do they go to Cat? Do they trust Anthony Edwards? Who do the Pelicans trust? Is it more CJ, Brandon Ingram? It'll be really interesting to see. That's why I have the Timberwolves winning. They did have a better overall season, and I'm going to stick with that one for this one. This one's more of a coin flip for me. I don't have any of the stat lines or anything because obviously the Pelicans would have to win and the Timberwolves would have to lose against the Lakers. So that is my play-in predictions. Let's dive deep into the finalized picture of the playoffs. You have the 1 seed Bucks playing against the number 8 seed Bulls, number 2 Celtics versus the number 7 Heat, number 3 76ers versus the 6 seed Nets, and the number 4 Cavaliers playing the number 5 Knicks. That's a fairly good, entertaining matchup in the East. And in the West, you have the number 1 Nuggets versus the number 8 seed Timberwolves, the number 2 Memphis Grizzlies playing the number 7 Los Angeles Lakers, the number 3 Sacramento Kings playing the number 6 Golden State Warriors, number 4 Phoenix Suns versus the number 5 Los Angeles Clippers. So overall, I'm very excited for these NBA playoffs. Let me know who you guys think is going to win in the play-in. I will be doing a full in-depth podcast/video on the NBA playoffs. I'm just going to wait till after the play-in because that's when I'll have a more accurate picture. Because let's say I picked the Bulls to win it all, man. The Bulls. Yeah, that's not happening. But if I did, and next thing you know, they lose in the play-in, my whole bracket's busted. It's like getting a team. It's like picking a team in the first 4 in March Madness to win it all, and then they lose in the first 4. And you're just like, all right, let me repick a bracket because you have that extra time. And that's what I'm going to do for this one. So hopefully I'm right. I have a feeling I'm going to be right. But who's really ever right? Anyways, this is Jackson James, and you've been listening to The Whistle here on All Jacked Up Sports. Make sure to subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcast or wherever you're watching this to stay tuned and so I can give you my NBA playoff predictions. I'll see you guys in the next one.